This is a bonus episode featuring the Pretenders' Martin Chambers answering your questions. You can hear Martin's full-length episode if you subscribe to the Trap Set on iTunes. Special thanks to our Trap Set interns, Craig Wedren and David Wayne, for helping produce this segment. Here are some listener questions.
Good.
Craig asks about your sense of style. How did you develop that? And how would you describe or characterize your sense of style?
Terry Williams, that played with Rockpile and Man and Dire Straits, a great drummer, he said to me, he's from South Walesy. He said, "Martin, you're a bloody show-off. A bloody show-off at the drums you are." And I think that's part of it, is trying to... I don't... When we get a new bunch of people to go on the road with their sound and lights and everything, I have one thing to say to the lighting designer. I don't play any good in the dark.
Gotcha.
I want to be seen.
Yeah.
I want to be noticed. I'm not just sitting there tapping away to make the song sound good. I'm doing that, but I'm doing a hell of a lot more too. So it's showtime, it's entertainment.
What about your clothing style? Where did that come
what
from?
about that?
And your distinctive chops. How did you develop those?
Well, the sideburns really was like, I was brought up in the countryside, so it was like the farmers and all, boy, or pig sheep and that, And you'd have these guys wearing these big mutton chops or whatever. There's so many different names for these sideburns, but I always thought if I grow up, I'd want some of them, So in 1965, I think I went to school. And through the summer holidays, I grew a moustache. So that was the start of it. So as soon as I was able, I always had some sort of facial hair. And so when I got the Pretenders started, I developed my facial hair thing. And it's always been there, just sort of stamped. I should have them in the merchandising, shouldn't I? Screw-on sideburns.
That would be a big seller. Okay, another question. You play really hard, but you also have a very sophisticated touch. How did you develop your playing style?
Well, I think it's back to songwriting and songs. Because of my parents and everything, I have either never heard of a song or I know it. And going way back into the 30s and stuff, I know most of those great songs that were written by those great people. And I can just lend my hand to play it. So in terms of a hard hitter, yes, I am, because I play rock and roll. And I don't just play rock and roll with a smile on my face. Sometimes I hit the drums and sometimes they hit me. And it hurts. And you cut your hands, and that's why I got bad knuckles. But dynamics determine that you also play light as a feather. And I can do that too. If you look at the recording of the Unplugged that we did. I mean, I'm playing with, I do Creep. We do a version of Creep, which is the Radiohead song. And I'm playing these little sticks that are like 8 inches long. Because it needed to be very light, but even with the light sticks, it wasn't light enough, so I cut them in half. But, it works. But brushes, I love playing with brushes. But very often I don't like the fact that the sound people are not quite getting it together. It's like, this is light.
Right.
We need to have a mic right in, almost where my ears are. Put 2 microphones looking down. That's what I need. I want to hear that when I listen back. I don't want mics over there. I want them where my ears are, pointing down there. That would help. So, but this dynamics, what it is, it's what is needed for the song and dynamics. It's okay hitting hard, but if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to do it all. You've got the paintbrushes, you've got the painting that you're doing. And what is it today? It's a gentle walk in a buttercup meadow. Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing today. That's the recording. Okay.
David asks, when you come up with a new beat and you notice that it's very similar to another beat that you've come up with previously, do you do anything to change it?
It depends on the song. If it's right for the song, even though it is similar to something else. Depends how similar, of course. If it's exactly the same, I never do something exactly the same. But as I said, from Sobbin into Kid, there's little patterns that are going on. They're different, but they're in the same box. But no, if they are too similar, you'd change it. If it doesn't matter because it's for the song and it works, it's fine.
Okay, so I think I already know what you're going to say to this one because you play for this song. But David asks, do you ever add rhythmic tricks or touches into beats to primarily impress other drummers?
No. I'm not interested in impressing other drummers. I'm interested in impressing people's ears. So they go, God, that's good. Because it works. It always comes down to the song because it works for the song. Like Private Life and stuff, there's lots of little things going on, especially live. I'm just bouncing the stick at one point. It's going to go boom, 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 triplets. But you're just bouncing the stick and just keeping it nice and loose sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm not trying to impress anybody, really. I'm just trying to make the song sound good.
Ray asks how you came up with your snare sound. Is that something that you thought about? Or is it
I
just
just
your
tune
sound?
it till it sounds about right and then hit it.
Good enough.
It's an individual thing. Very much so. How high different songs will determine. Like, don't get me wrong. For example, I'm playing the soprano snare to my left, so it's a very high hitting and light and jumpy. It's jumping around.
I'm pulling up a couple more questions.
Come on, kids, hit me.
Come on,
hit
kids.
Me.
We got some more.
Hit me.
Joe asks about a moment in 1981 where you played a double rack tom kit. Yeah. Were you toying with that for a brief moment, and why did you go back to just one?
I think, again, it was the song. I think I'd got a deal with Ludwig. I think that's the mahogany kit he's referring to. I think I even had double bass drums and stuff at that point because we were doing things like Bad Boys Get Spanked. And I think that required that kind of playing. Yeah, there was a bit more, one of those tumbling sort of drum fill. That kind of thing was needed around that time. So I had more tom-toms. But generally now, I've just ordered a new kit now which will be like the original black and white kit I brought here in 1980, like the Eddie Ryan kit that I had made. And I'm proud to announce that DW Drums are speeding that up, so that'll be ready for February. And that's a black and white kit that came from the black and white logos and stuff and artwork from Brass and Pocket period. So that's going to resurrect its head again. But the drum kit, basically, I have one mounted tom. Because otherwise you disappear behind a bunch of hardware, and it's like, who's that guy losing his hair the other side of that tom-tom?
One more. On tour now, which song are you most excited to play, and which are you least excited to play?
Do you know, it's really interesting. Even though I'm, this new Pretenders record. Actually, there's only it's Chrissy in the studio doing it with Dan Arbeck, but it's fine.
Do you like it?
Yeah, actually, I do. I didn't like it when I first heard it because, but the thing is, I'm starting to like it now because we're playing the songs, and we're doing a really good versions of these songs. So that's the bit that will be remembered. So I think the ones we're doing, I mean, to do a gig where you're putting new songs, people want to hear the old stuff, don't they? Of course they do.
Sure.
I mean, the Rolling Stones got a new album. Nobody really wants to hear it. They want to hear, dan, 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 they want to hear that classic stuff. It's the opposite to comedians.
Right.
You want to hear the new stuff. You don't want to hear that old stuff. I know that. So it's the opposite. We're in the reproduction game in rock and roll. We reproduce everything, which is, I get it, and I'm happy to play it, but sometimes the singer isn't, So, I don't know. I think any of the new stuff, I'm really into playing the new stuff. Not so much sometimes, but on this, yeah, definitely, because there's some good things on there. There's one new song we don't do yet, but I think we're going to do that and hot it up for the next leg of the tour we're going to be doing, and that will be Chord Lord. I can't remember it now, but I remember as I played through, I thought, yeah, we could do that. But it's great opening up when you come out on stage and you play two new songs straight away. Yeah, have that. And here's Message of Love. It's a good way to start a show.
Pull out the
especially
hits, yeah.
Lyrically for Chrissy. What are you doing today? And it's like a song called Alone. It's fabulous. And we haven't yet done things like a terrifically, I think, fantastically brave song to write. She wouldn't think that at all, but I do. And it's called I Hate Myself. I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. It's very honest, it's very direct, bloody amazing. Really cool. So when we play that, we've done it a few times at our own shows. It's a wonderful reaction because people are like, good for radio, that expression, isn't it? But you know what I mean? It's not the normal route that people would take. I hate myself. It's a pretty direct area to go into. And I love it.
Yet we all think it sometimes.
Absolutely. I've written a song called It's Painful Being Me. And that's
What's the most painful part about being you?
Good question. Getting up in the morning.
Well, what's the first thought that goes through your head in the morning?
No, it's difficult sometimes just being the person that you are. Sometimes you think, oh, damn. I wish I hadn't. I wish I could have. Why didn't I? A lot of that. But you have to kind of put that to one side and go like, hey, look at the bright side. I'm healthy.
Right. And you're here.
I wasn't born in Africa.
Right.
Think about it. So, what's next?
Well, Martin Chambers, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, Joe. And God bless everybody. And thank you for listening to this program and coming to the gigs. I hope you're going to be coming. And don't forget to get my book, The Last Pretender, that comes out next year. Visit my website, pretendermc.com, for all fantastic photographs of us when we were young and beautiful.
Is there anything you want to plug, Martin?
pretendermc.com and Last Pretender. But there are some really interesting parts. I've been very forensic on my writing.
When does your book come out?
Well, I'm going to get a publishing deal. It was going to be on Pledge Music in England, but I'm going to do it properly, I think.
Okay.
You only do it once. And really what I want to do is make it stand up for the memory of Jim and Pete, who I love very much, and a lot of people. It's very important to me, and it has been forensic in its examination of what actually happened.
Did you learn anything about yourself?
Enormous amount, yes.
What's the most important thing you learned about yourself?
Don't do it again.
All right, that's a great place to end it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Aww.